Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. More importantly, I'm going to introduce you to a really good, people say friend of the show. I mean really a great friend of the show. He is Michael Port. He's the author of a wonderful book you ought to go out and get. It is called Book Yourself Solid, Illustrated.
Yeah.
Now, we had Michael on last time talking about his writing. Book Yourself Solid, one of my favorite books right there in my library of business books that I always go back to when I'm struggling to figure out how to make it work. What is Book Yourself Solid and what's Book Yourself Solid Illustrated?
So Book Yourself Solid is the first edition, and it has 90,000 words. So people often say, I love the book, but I didn't finish it because something came up or I don't love to read.
And
so
the premise of that is?
It's how to get as many clients as your heart desires. That's it. So I thought, well, I got to figure out a way to reach the people who are not finishing or who don't love to read and want to get this information quickly. So I said, we have to illustrate it. Let's see if we can give people an opportunity to see the concept so they can absorb them much more quickly, and as a result, put it into action, which at the end of the day is the key. Right?
It's so interesting. Michael talks about your clients, and by the way, if you don't think of the people you serve as clients, forget it. That has nothing to do with that. Those of us in public television, sponsors are clients.
Yeah.
You run a furniture store.
Yeah.
Customers are
Clients.
Everyone has
Clients.
So
Yeah.
don't get caught up in that word, right?
Yeah. It's people you serve. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
Yeah, and so one of my sort of core philosophies is stand in the service of others as you stand in the service of your own destiny or future. Because if we want to be noticed, if we want to be popular, if we want people to pay attention to what we're selling or our big ideas, we need to be relevant. And the easiest way in the world to be relevant is by being helpful, right?
And we always talk about that.
Yeah. So if someone comes on your show, they get all nervous, I got to be good, I got to be good. They shouldn't think about that. They should just think about, how can I be helpful on the show? That's it. And they'll do a great job as a result.
It's so funny, in the other part of my work where I coach people on their communication skills, I'll often say to them, I know you're nervous, but ask yourself, how can I be helpful to this audience? And they'll say, oh no, that's not it. I go, they'll say, how much do I have to know? No.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Yeah, it's not an intellectual exercise, right? It really is about, and look, every single person knows how to be helpful. The question is, are you willing to do it? Are you willing to do it in a way that you are still fully self-expressed? So you're not taking yourself and putting it aside. There's a balance between your service and what you achieve or receive. It's not quid pro quo.
That's right.
Right? But if you believe in the law of reciprocity, you'll do good for others.
Michael's been with us many times, and I've learned so much from him, and you're going to learn as well. And he, by the way, Book Yourself Solid Illustrated, he did it also because he said most people like to see some visuals. They learn that way. We're going to show just two examples of Michael's book, or pieces of Michael's book. This one is the 4-part sales formula. When we see the visual, describe what we're looking at right here.
Every single sales conversation has 4 parts to it. It's not a script. It doesn't always go in the same order, but you need to know what somebody wants to achieve. Because if you don't know that, and if they're not clear on it, it's very hard to move to the next step. And the next step is, okay, well, why? Because there may be financial benefits of that achievement, there may be emotional benefits, there may be physical benefits, there may be spiritual benefits. And so if we know what they want to achieve and we know why they want to achieve it, then we can ask them, well, do you want someone to help you?
I'm looking at the visual right now, though, Michael, and that's the cycle?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
But hold on, what is the difference between me seeing that, your readers seeing that, people who read the book, and simply listing, all right, here are the 4 things, do these things, no pictures, no visuals, no nothing. What's the difference?
It doesn't stick when it's just words. So I can go through boom, 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 and you might remember one thing he said, or a couple words here and there. But if you can see it, you can put yourself in that situation. So if there's a little person running through the finish line, you can see yourself there. And you can always go back to it. If you're about to have a sales conversation on the phone, whip out that illustration. There it is. Boom. If it's just words, you're not going to be able to follow.
But a picture?
You can follow the progression.
I remember that picture. I know what I need to do.
Exactly.
So interesting. Michael was very helpful in the last book I wrote, You Are the Brand. You were very kind to write something nice.
So good.
I don't know if it was true, but it was nice.
It was always true.
So the reason I say that isn't to be self-promotional, which is the good segue here, is because you talk about the 6 keys. Guys, help me on this. Is the 6 keys to, the 6 core strategies of promotion, right?
Yeah, the 6 core self-promotion
branding is part of it, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk. This looks complicated to me. Help me.
Well, it's kind of simple. I mean, they're fundamental. I don't think your audience will think they're new. developing deeper relationships with the people
And
that
people,
you already
what are
know.
they doing? They're holding hands.
Yeah, they're connecting, they're sharing. You know, I have a very simple networking strategy. I say introduce 2 people every day that do not yet know each other but would like to know each other.
Sure.
Share information with at least one person every single day that's relevant to them, and share some compassion with somebody every single day. You do that every single day. Over the course of a month, you've kept in touch with 80 people.
And you are building.
You're building a serious network.
Put that up again, guys. Direct out. Do you have to do every one of these,
No,
Michael?
that's the thing. No. For example, speaking or writing strategies, if you don't want to be a public speaker, don't do it.
Don't? I often tell my clients, you got to get out there and you got to speak.
No, I don't think so. Because what if you hate it? What if,
They do. Some of them say, no, I want to give me anything else to do.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's other things they can do instead. So maybe they like to write. So maybe they can blog instead. Or maybe they can write articles for other influencers who serve that same target market. So we absolutely need to work on our skills of persuasion, our ability to speak and persuade. But I'm not sure everybody should speak to an audience of 5,000 people.
You're saying play to your strength.
Absolutely.
And not all of those 6. You don't have to do all those 6, but you're showing them visually.
Like think web strategies, for example. Of course, you have to have a very good website that starts a conversation, converts a potential buyer so you can follow up. But do you have to go into hardcore hardcore pay-per-click advertising, search engine optimization? Not really. And some people will argue that point with me. But we're talking about service professionals, smaller business owners, building a reputation. And you need to build a reputation based on what is natural to you, what is easy to you, what is comfortable for you. Because it's a lot easier to demonstrate who you are in that process. And ultimately, we're buying you. We watch this show because of
my
you.
stuff, no?
No, you. No, I want your book because of what you brought to it, because of what you stand for, your style, your tone, the way you see the world. That's what we're buying. And so we connect to big companies this way too when there's a figurehead like a Richard Branson. But most importantly, when we're looking at especially service businesses that are run by individuals, sometimes even just that individual, that's who we're buying. Because the first thing I want to know, do you help someone like me get what I want?
Right.
And if the answer is yes, then I'm looking at, well, why do they do this? Why do they get up every morning to do this work? Is it for the 10% commission? Or is it because there's something bigger that they stand for and they want to share that with me?
It's very personal. It's very
all
personal.
And look, people say there's a difference between personal and business.
I don't buy it.
It's all the same thing.
And on a personal and a business level, that's why we like Kevin Michael here. Book yourself Solid Illustrated. Michael Port, he's one of our favorite guests. He's a friend of the show, and he adds a lot. And that's why we have him. Thank you,
Thank you so much. You're so kind. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. So I'm Steve Adubato. We're at the Tisch WNET Studios right here in beautiful Lincoln Center. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System. Funding has been provided by Barnabas Health, TD Bank, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, TSE&G, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, Roche, the law firm of Gibbons PC, and by the New Jersey Education Association. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been made possible in part by New Jersey State Nurses Association.